Let's make something happen now. We need a script. We're going to create a new C# script. We're going to call it platform, and we're going to drag it onto our platform. Let's just double check. Yes, it's here. Now we can double click on this, our platform script, and it should be empty. It should start with a start and an update function. So here's our platform. That's our start, and there's our update. This runs constantly, and this runs just once at the very start when you push play. That will run once. So the first thing, well, the easiest thing that we could do is put a block right in the center there. We need a block first, or a cube, so let's create a prefab of a cube. That cube is, we just double click on it, that's just a regular cube, and we're going to drag it into our assets folder, and it will become a prefab, something that we can reuse, a prefabricated object. I'm just going to name it, we're going to call it brick actually, and then we can get rid of it from our scene. But it's still here and we can still use it. So let's go back to our top view of our, just so we don't get confused, we're going to call this our platform. So the platform, I'm going to go drop down, I'm going to go bird's eye view again, and now that I have a brick that I can reuse, I'm going to go back to our script here, and the very first thing is we're going to learn how to using programming or C#, put an object into our game when we start. So how do we do that? We need to set up a variable container. This variable container is going to hold the prefab, or a reference to that prefab. So how we do that? Go public game object, case sensitive, capital G, capital O for game object, and this is going to be our brick prefab. In our start function, we know that this runs once when we first start our game, so we're going to put our code in between the parentheses of this start function, these two curly brackets. And the way we instantiate, or the way we copy that prefab now and reference it and then put it on our scene, is like this. We need to use a instantiate function, and we're instantiating the prefab, the brick prefab, and we are, first of all, let me explain instantiate. That just means copy. Make a copy of and instantiate it, or put it into the scene. And we need to define what we're copying. So we know that this game object, we haven't defined it yet, but this game object variable will be the brick prefab that we created here. And we need to place it. We need to tell it where to go in our scene, in our game. So the next part we need to do is transform.position, and then we need to go new vector 3, and this is going to be our 3 x, y, and z positions. So for the time being, I'm just going to put 0, 0, 0. Summary. We get this summary, which is helpful if you can't remember. X, y, and z. So I'm also going to put a comment at the end here to help us remind us of what these values actually mean. X, Y, and Z. Now we know, going back to our platform, that our platform, the center of our platform, is at 0 and Z is at 0. So the Z and X is what we're looking down on. The axis that we can't see is the Y axis, which is going up. And we know that our platform is one measurement of whatever this measurement is high, and our cube or our brick is also one high. So if we put this at 0, on the Y here, our cube is going to be centered in the middle of this platform, and we won't be able to see it because it'll be part of the embedded in the platform. So we need to put this one above. So this one line will hopefully put a cube right in the center there. We need to do one more thing before we run this. I just Command S. We need to define that brick prefab variable. So all we're going to do is, if you're not there already, click on your platform. Your script will come up here, and you need to drag your brick into that empty game object, which is what we defined up here. That's it. Let's play. And there's our brick. We can also see in our hierarchy that a clone of the brick has been made. If we double click on it, we can see it here, right in the center.